nerding.
Hey, my mic was turned off. Hey, what's up, everybody?
What to do?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. It is time, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday. We are getting ready to have all the fun. I've got a new build. We've got a new guest. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun stuff. Jamez showed up for the first time. This might be the third time that he's been on the build.
Who knows? It's so many fingers.
Yeah.
It's like I'm a regular.
Yeah, you know, it's almost like he's on our show every now and then.
Who's gonna hold the chat down?
I know.
I'll leave that to Say Wong. Say Wong can do it.
Say Wong.
Say Wong, it is your job to hold down the chat now.
Exactly.
It's your chat. We're just living in it.
Exactly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. It is time to have a whole bunch of fun. We're gonna get down and get ready, get down and dirty here. But before we do that, of course, we gotta shout out the sponsors of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, this show is brought to you by. Hold on, I got the wrong button. Hold on.
Nope.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this show is.
Dummy.
That's right. W is a brand of energy drinks created to help focus concentration reaction time with no jitters or crash. W contains no maltodextrin, no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Now, you may be wondering to yourself, what makes W different from all the other supplements that are out there? I'll tell you what it is. W contains Neurofactor. Neurofactor is a neurotropic derived from the coffee fruit. Neurofactor helps give your brain focus and clarity, while the 150 milligrams of caffeine and 3 essential B vitamins help you stay alert and energized. Find out more about W at www.w.gg. Use the code NERDING10. Get 10% off your order. Whew.
That was a lot. I'm proud of you.
And I did that in one breath. It's great.
Wow. Proud. I'm proud. I'm a proud Frey.
Let's see right here. I'm just on the side here. Mr. Chibi is asking us if we can shout out a show that he's got going on. Going to meet up with Stephen Yu, friend of the show, Stephen Yu, at King Kong Comics in September for a 2-day free event that celebrates Asian comic creators in the Bay Area. Not only that, we're going to be seeing Stephen Yu in a couple of weeks on September 7th.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
At KaboomCon.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I think Darren's talking about the Asian. I think it's called Asian Invasion. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah, he's talking about something else on another show, but we are going to see him as well on September 7th at KaboomCon. We're actually doing a panel with him for independent comic book creators.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I love stuff like that. Panels like that with independent creators are always so much fun. They really are. That's all I have to say about that.
Well, let's jump right into this, guys. I am building the Concord jet today.
The Concord jet. I always wanted to.
Whoa.
Wow. I wanted to ride the Concord, and then they discontinued it.
I think everybody did at some point.
Pieces.
Yeah, 2,083 pieces to be exact. So this is gonna be a couple of weeks worth of a show here.
Couple weeks.
Wow, look at that thing.
So do we want to start with the bracket until our guest gets here?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do this because we've got a Disney bracket because we're talking Disney tonight, people.
Oh man, because we got a bunch of Disney nerds coming on the show between James and between Ayden when he gets here. We've got a bunch of Disney nerds. So
yeah, we definitely need to do that. So this is like favorite Disney movie. It looks like it's movies. Yeah, movie.
I like it.
Pete's Dragon was kind of a movie but I think that's the original one. Anyway, okay, so it's movies. I'm like, it's movies. It was just a generic Disney bracket that we did. Okay, everybody. So, and thank you to Graveyard, our bracket extraordinaire maker.
Graveyard, dude out night.
Yeah. And we miss you, dude.
Do we?
do. Yeah. One day you and he will be on the bill together.
I think they were last time James was on.
Oh, really?
Back in
wow.
1997.
Back in the 20th century. All right. So our first group for the Disney bracket is, or first pairing is Escape to Witch Mountain versus Pinocchio.
Escape to Witch Mountain versus Pinocchio. And the theme again is best Disney movie or?
Yeah, best Disney movie. And it's like, it's got animated and live action, obviously, because although Pinocchio's been both. So I guess we could.
I would assume that we're talking about the original
Escape to Witch Mountain and Pinocchio.
As much as James would love it to be the version with The Rock.
Done. It's The Rock. The Rock version wins. Comes out of nowhere. Steel chair to both contestants. Rock's Escape to Witch Mountain wins. Next.
Okay, so we've got
The Rock was in this version, but he wasn't in the original version. So
no, he wasn't in the original.
I know.
The Rock has come back.
I don't know.
All right,
we tried to rewatch Pinocchio,
and
it is a trip. It is a very odd movie. It made me uncomfortable. The whole stealing children thing. Ugh.
Yeah, if you really look into some of these Disney movies, they're problematic. They're really problematic.
Yeah, exactly.
Cinderella, slave labor.
Like I said, I think that's the point, though. I think the point of it is to be uncomfortable. Because it was supposed to be a cautionary tale. The whole thing was supposed to be kids, you know, watch what you're doing, you know?
Snow White?
And a lot of them are based on Grimm fairy tales, which were like...
Grimm?
Well, they were supposed to be, hey, kids, if you do these things, bad stuff happens to you. So, I mean, I can understand that. So
watch out for 7 dwarves hanging out in the woods by themselves.
Watch out. Always watch out for groups of dudes that are just hanging out in the woods.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just a pro tip.
Right.
Pro tip there.
Isn't what was the that should be a fun one where we compare like the Grimm tales to the Disney version. That may be a fun like bracket or story to tell, because
you mean like movies or stuff that they've done, because they've done several of like the Grimm fairy tale version as well.
Yeah,
because shout outs to a podcast that I've shouted out on this show multiple times. There's a podcast out there called used to be called Disney Story Origins. Now it's called Cinema Story Origins because they started getting into non-Disney stories and whatnot. But it's literally what the guy does is he compares the original story with the new story, with the Disney version of the story, and really gets into like how kind of messed up some of those stories are.
Exactly. But you know, like I would love to compare and talk about it on air with everybody about how like the Little Mermaid story is completely different than what Disney.
She's
that's Hans Christian Andersen and the whole like her turning into sea foam at the end because she doesn't actually get the prince But
see, the other thing with that story too, like what makes that story completely just unhinged is they don't really talk about in the newer version when she becomes human. Every time she takes a step, it's like the glass shards are going through her feet.
It's like when I step on a real rocky beach.
Yeah, she's in constant pain because and the other thing is the voice that was stolen from her. In the story, they magically take her voice from her. in the original story, they cut out her tongue.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty.
And on that note, let's say hi to Anna.
Hi, Anna.
Let's say hi to what's up, Ernie? Welcome back.
Hi, Ernie.
Oh my
Ernie
goodness.
Chavez, how's it going, man?
Hi, Chibi. I didn't say hi earlier, and I saw that you said hi to me. So, and hey, Aaron, what's up? Say Wong.
What a
Peace out, Say Wong.
What a what? Yeah, but
But
that'd be
we're-
fun just to go through those stories.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you really look at some of the origins of the stories, you're like, I don't know if I like this anymore. So, like,
I heard, and I guess Philippe can chime in on this, but like even Frozen, I
Yeah.
guess she was like the Snow Queen or something like
the
that.
Snow Queen is pretty horrific.
So Frozen isn't based on one particular story. Frozen is an amalgamation of multiple stories, and the reason that Walt Disney, because Frozen or the Ice Queen was the story that Walt Disney wanted to do after Snow White, and they just couldn't develop a story that was captivating enough and that was good enough for children. So they ended up kind of shelving it, right? But like Disney, for years, even after Walt died, they could not figure out how to do that story, and what they ended up doing was creating a story out of whole cloth. But it is based on the Ice Queen, and there are like multiple legends of the Ice Queen. It's the same thing.
You say whole cloth?
Whole cloth. The other, whole cloth is when you say you created something out of whole cloth, it means that you created something from scratch.
Yeah, basically.
Can you just say you created from scratch?
Whole cloth sounds so much cooler, though.
I've never heard that before.
That is a saying that has been around longer than either of us, James.
Yeah.
Yes, you know what?
It's
even been around longer than me.
We don't use it.
Mortal.
That's one of those sayings when people say downtown Sacramento or downtown LA, like proper Los Angeles. Like, don't say that. I don't know what that means. What is proper Los Angeles mean?
LA proper means the actual city of Los Angeles, and
not
not LA County.
Right.
And what does that mean? Is Reseda?
No, Reseda is a suburb.
Is it? See, I don't know.
Because what's the neighborhood? We have already established the amount that you don't know.
Exactly.
Like, you cannot tell different time zones. So let's not even start with that.
There's only one time zone that matters, and it's Pacific.
No, it's not.
It is.
Just because I know different time zones doesn't mean I have to conform to yours.
That's like one of those things where it's like, I know 5 languages. That's like, okay, great. 5 different time zones. Good for you. There's only one matters.
Okay, guys. So our bracket right now.
Matt Aguilar said, "Don't let them shame your phrases." Exactly, James. Do not shame me for my phrases.
Well, why are you shaming me for being ignorant about these proper phrases?
We're just trying to teach you regionalisms and cool sayings.
We're trying to
expand your knowledge.
You're trying to time shame me.
I'm not trying to. I am trying to time shame you because that's just ridiculous.
Kind of time.
All right. So now that James and I are arguing again, we're doing the Disney bracket, best Disney movie out of the 32 that we chose.
Thank you.
And the first two to go head to head are Escape to Witch Mountain, original, non-rock, and Pinocchio, and that's the animated original version.
Can we just throw in the rock version, like either or?
No.
Come on, like it's a tag team?
Nope. It's not wrestling. It's Escape from Witch Mountain.
Okay, I guess.
And I've got Tater.
I
got yours. Sandra, I got yours. DeLong Family Cosplay, aka Jeff, I got yours. And then James said Escape from Witch Mountain, so I just put it down. So anyone else in the chat?
Just for the record, I would have said Escape to Witch Mountain either way, only because the creep factor on Pinocchio gets me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So Escape to Witch Mountain. I want to escape from Pinocchio because that is super creepy.
I think I go Pinocchio just because I think it is the cautionary tale. It is also a classic. At this point,
you tell a lot of lies.
No. The other thing is multiple.
I got you, Say Wong.
Yeah, multiple things with Disney at this point are identified with Pinocchio, just like Peter Pan. So I think I go with Pinocchio.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm like, I loved Escape from Witch Mountain, especially the original. Because I was I don't know. I just liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really interesting because that was when sci-fi was really coming into its own, like kid sci-fi.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. And although I think Return from Witch Mountain I thought was better than Escape.
Did that have The Rock in it?
No.
All right.
But I also really loved Pinocchio. I think Pinocchio was one of the first Disney movies I ever saw. Yeah. So it's like that's hard for me. So Aaron, we're not. Kurt Russell was not in Escape from Witch Mountain. Yes, he was in Escape from New York.
There's a chance that he could have been. Kurt Russell was in a lot of early Disney shit.
Yeah, he was. He just wasn't in that one. He was in a lot of Disney movies when he was younger. So.
He was a child actor for Disney, and a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah. Snake Plissken. We all know Snake Plissken. Who doesn't know Snake Plissken?
I'm just throwing it out there. I hope that his milquetoast ass son returns that role.
Oh, that would be so awesome. You mean Johnny Mayo?
Johnny Mayo. It's funny.
If I ever meet him in person, I'm definitely going to say, we call your U.S. Agent Johnny Mayo, right?
And he'll be, thanks.
No, he'll probably be like, that's so fucking cool.
He'll probably be like, that's pretty fucking funny.
No. Fun fact, his uniform as U.S. Agent even though it's supposed to be patriotic, red, white, blue, it's missing the white.
There's a little bit of white
red,
in there.
White, and gray.
But
it's gray. On purpose, they removed all the white from his uniform.
Oh, because he's he's more of a gray character.
Mm-hmm. So he stands. So any way you look at him, he's going to look different than Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Anyways, I got knowledge. I got fun facts. Hey, look at me.
And I think they do that on Sam's new costume too. Sam Wilson's. I think his is more gray. Of course, they could do the whole like, oh, this is his second costume, and this is his more I'm going nomad costume, like they did in Winter Soldier. But all right, so
before we get to the next
Owa
one,
says Pinocchio.
Pinocchio.
And I feel like Pinocchio's gotten a lot, so I'm going to go with Escape because I love them both. So I'm just doing that. All right. So this is last call, guys. Last call. Anybody who wants to?
Going once. Going twice.
I will let you know. Pinocchio has quite the lead.
Let's get an update on the Concord build. How's that going?
I'm pulling up the instructions right now.
I was like, he's not doing anything right now. He's looking for the instructions.
Playing Disney Emoji Blitz on his phone.
Okay, I'm cutting it off, guys. We're going to the next one. Oh, look at that. So Pinocchio with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 votes. Your audition off your Disney toy. Right. Thanks. And then Escape had 3, so Pinocchio.
Wait, but I lost that one?
Yeah, you lost that one.
Pinocchio!
Are you kidding? I don't like to tell people what mine is because I think when I'm in the chat and not on the show, you guys specifically pick what I don't want to piss me off. So, yeah.
You only do that to James.
Yeah, pretty much my story.
I'll remember that. I won't pick what James picks then. All right.
I don't pick what Tyler picks. See how it goes? And around and around we go.
Here we go. All right. Next two are Cinderella versus Fox and the Hound. This one's going to be so hard for me because I adore both of these movies.
Yeah.
So that's animated Cinderella and animated Fox and the Hound. I don't think they've done a live action Fox and the Hound.
No, they haven't.
Yet.
I cried in that at Fox and the Hound at the end. Kurt Russell voiced. Did he voice the fox or the hound? I can't remember. He voiced one of them. I want to say he voiced the fox. Kurt Russell did.
Hound or Cinderella?
Yeah.
Cinderella.
Coco.
Nice a day, a Cinderella.
Do you like
I
Fox
had
and the Hound or
the
Cinderella more?
album.
I love that he's asking his kids.
But
What'd you say?
I had the album. I had the Cinderella album, the Disney one, Walt Disney Cinderella. It like opened and everything. Oh, it's so pretty.
You got to vote. Say it in the mic.
Cinderella. Cinderella, Cinderella.
She said Cinderella.
All right, let's do Cinder here.
That was the most adorable thing ever. She just comes on the screen and goes, Cinderella.
Cinderella.
Okay, we have got our guest waiting. So okay,
let's go ahead and introduce our guest here. Today's
Alrighty.
guest is a dancer, dance teacher, choreographer, and an all-around elite level Disney nerd. So that means he's going to school us on everything that we're talking about. If he's not dancing, he's in the Disney parks, probably dancing in the parks. Please welcome Mr. Ayden Jenner Carrol.
Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Welcome.
I'm just clapping because I want to clap for you.
Normally I'd hit the soundboard, but I'm on the other side of the room. So
Yeah, he doesn't have his setup for this, so he can't do the yay, which is what it does. So
I mean, if I go, wait a minute, I got this. Hold on, I got it. Wait a
Oh,
minute.
boy.
here we go.
I got. Oh shit.
Easy. There are children
I hit
on the
wrong
stream.
There you go.
button. I did it. Yeah.
right.
All
well,
that.
So, Ayden, we actually are doing the Disney bracket real quick. We were doing it while we were waiting for you, and it's Cinderella versus Fox and the Hound. Like we're saying, favorite all-time Disney movie. These are the two that are going head to head. So, if you would like to vote, you absolutely can. And then after we're done with this, we will get into the interview portion of the show.
Okay.
So,
Who would you pick, or what movie would you pick? You have 2 DVDs in your hand. You know, if people still use DVDs, one is Cinderella, one is Fox and the Hound. Which one do you put in?
Well, taking in the fact that my mom does get a lot of compliments, and since it is one of her favorites, and she looks like her, it's going to have to be Cinderella.
aw, that's awesome.
Cinderella
Such good positive reasons for picking that movie.
I like that. Well, hey, what was the other one? So again, DVD question. You have
Fox
Escape.
and the Hound. Oh, Escape from Witch Mountain versus Pinocchio. And it's the original Escape from Witch Mountain and the animated Pinocchio.
But if it sways you and The Rock is in
No,
second version.
Rock is not in this. You stop trying to sway
Okay,
people
all right.
because The Rock.
I'm going to have to go with Pinocchio.
Okay, good. Pinocchio's the one that.
Yeah, Pinocchio went on. So see, you're right in line with us. All right. So we got Cinderella. We got 2 for Cinderella. Oh wait, Tater said Cinderella. So we've got 3 for Cinderella. And let's see here. Since Coco said it.
I
So,
also go Cinderella on this.
all right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go Fox and the Hound. I love Cinderella. I'm gonna go Fox and the Hound. Because I didn't cry at Cinderella and I did cry at Fox and the Hound. And yeah, but I love Cinderella. Look, if I could figure out how to get animals to do my job, I absolutely would. So I'm all about Cinderella, but yeah, so I think I'm going to say Fox and the Hound. And then Chibi said Cinderella. I have a feeling Cinderella is going to take this one. So anybody else? Let's do one more. Oh wait, Ernie said Fox. Thanks, Ernie. And let's see, I got Tater. I got yours.
Cinderella.
Oh, yeah. Say Wong said Cinderella, and I forgot. All right. Anybody else? Last call. Last call.
Rock call.
Well, not in either one of these movies, but okay. Maybe that'll be the sequel to Cinderella. She goes on a bender. Totally different movie. So. All right. Well, I'm calling it then. Cinderella moves on with 6 votes to 2. So, yay. All right. Hi, Ayden. How are you? Oh my gosh. Okay. And I swear, I think you're gonna get all of James's kids in here. So
Look at them all.
although I think we might have lost Ayden.
Oh no! I think he froze.
He froze. He froze with a smile on his face.
At least there's
That's
that.
like the best freeze ever. Mine's always like one eye shut.
Yours is usually one eye shut, or you're like,
yeah.
Like that. So, all right. The Rock says, know your role, James.
Know your role, and
The Rock says, know your role. Shut your mouth.
Whoa, hey.
Gus.
Coco, don't laugh at young Phil. He's not that funny.
I think he's back. I think we got him.
All right, we
got him back. All right, there we go. I will add him to the stage.
Sorry about that. I had a little glitch with my internet, so I just had to connect to the hotspot on my phone.
No,
you're
worries.
fine. Don't worry.
That happens if you have other things going on, like TVs or whatever. You can shut them off, or even your email, like Outlook. If you have Outlook, and it chews up a lot of space. But anyway.
it also depends on how much bandwidth you have. So I mean, like you know, if you don't have much upload, then yeah, you're gonna lose a lot.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's get this. Tater says we're missing one kid.
We are.
And then Sandra said, "No, Coco, you laugh a lot." She's saying you can laugh as much as you want. All right.
Okay. Enough about Coco and stealing the show.
That's her job, is to steal the show. You know, dude, your kids are adorable. It's kind of what happens.
All right, let's get into some dance before we get into Disney. How about that?
All right.
Good?
Sure.
So Ayden, welcome. We have a segment on our show called Growing Up Geeky. So we like to ask, what did you geek out on as a kid?
Wow. I would say growing up in the early 2000s and even being a dancer, me, my cousins, and a lot of my friends from school and from dance, we all grew up on like everything from Hannah Montana to High School Musical to Camp Rock to some of the more popular early 2000 shows that were either on Disney Channel, Disney XD, like we were obsessed. So yeah, and besides Disney, like I watched a lot of shows on Nickelodeon, MTV, but Disney was like the closest to me.
Gotcha.
That's
so
awesome.
you pretty much grew up on like Disney Channel and Nickelodeon.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Like a lot of us did.
So like Kim Possible, did you ever watch Kim Possible?
Yes, Kim Possible, Weekenders, Fillmore, so many really good shows from the early 2000s.
Yeah, I loved Kim Possible, and my son loved Phineas and Ferb, and we watched that still. So it's like,
that one I remember in 5th grade 2008. That was the same year that Phineas and Ferb came out. Like that was like the one show we were obsessed with. Like coming out of High School Musical, that was like our like go-to show. Me and a lot of my school friends watched that.
It's such a clever show, and it's like the parents can watch it with the kids because there's something for parents in there too. I mean, it's just anyway, or I'm just very childlike.
So you mentioned High School Musical. How old were you when you saw that?
I believe I'm going to say I was 8 or 9 or 10. Because I think the first one came out in 2006. So I might have just turned 9 back then.
Oh, wow.
Gotcha. That was one of our questions. What came first, dance or Disney? It's kind of the same thing now. That answer.
Well, I mean, I tell the story a lot. I was born into a whole family of dancers, but even before then, for me, it was Disney. Because I didn't start dancing until I was 3, and I think my first trip going to Disneyland was when I was, I'm gonna say a year or probably 15 months. So Disney came first, and then dancing.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, So how did you get into dancing? So you said your whole family is dancers. Did you just like come out of the womb? Do 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 do. I'm sorry.
Tossing.
Yeah. Basically,
He came
I
out with jazz hands. It's just
yeah.
Yes.
I grew up I grew up in a whole family of dancers. My mom danced up until she was a teenager. My older brother Austin, my older sister Ashley danced when they were younger. But my brother, though, he stopped after he graduated from high school. My sister, though, she kept going and taught for a few years up until she got married. My Aunt Tirza, who owns the studio that I work at, River City Dance Academy, shout out to you guys. And her two
Shout
kids, my two cousins, Madison and Tyler, danced. So yeah, it was basically just like a whole family, like full circle. So I guess you could say it just seemed natural to kind of follow in their footsteps. And so I started at the age of 3, and it was more like recreation, like, staying out of trouble. Not that I was, but just something to kind of keep myself occupied after school. And then it became more serious when I was around 8, 9, or 10, which is when I joined the company at the studio. I danced on that for about 9 seasons. And even during my last season, that's when I started teaching and like going through internship, and eventually worked up to getting my own classes. And yeah, what's brought me here today.
Awesome.
What
Yay.
and this is just a question I have off the top of my head, but what style of dance do you typically teach, or what's your favorite style of dancing?
Well, I grew up taking every style of dance, but my first one I taught was tap. I came out of the womb as a tap dancer, and still to this day, my aunt taps, my cousin taps. So that was like my like go-to style. But then eventually, as I got older, I started to explore into taking jazz and ballet and musical theater, and even hip hop. I will say though, even when I was younger, just taking class, I wasn't really confident in hip hop at all, but I thought it was the coolest style. So then, like I mentioned, I joined the company we have at the studio, which is like our main competition team, around between 8 to 10. So with our team, we got to travel across California. So we went to San Francisco, or we were in LA. We would go to dance conventions where they have competition and classes. And the classes are usually led by industry professionals, some of which you may see on So You Think You Can Dance, Dancing with the Stars, Dance Moms. So there was a couple teachers on there that I do want to give a shout out. Tony Bellissimo and Gigi Torres. They kind of like opened me up into like loving and appreciating hip hop further. But still to this day, I mean, again, I came out of the womb as a tap dancer, but I was pretty diverse in all styles. But to answer that question, my strongest style that I love to teach is musical theater, because to me, it's a very well-rounded style. You can take any style and make musical theater with it. Every show and movie that has its own setting and storyline, whatever style correlates to that, you can make musical theater with it. So yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so I have a question that's not on our list, but it's been in my head since I heard that you also danced. All right, in Oklahoma, by Rogers and Hammerstein, there is a dance number that usually is done by professional dancers and not like the original Curly and, oh my gosh, Lori. And it's been a while since I've seen Oklahoma. How do you feel about that? Like, I feel like Oklahoma itself is such a just music. It's musical. And then that's really the only dance scene in it. Like, so how do you feel about that versus like something where they dance throughout while they sing?
Yeah, I've seen numerous productions where some of it is just straight dance all the way forward. Like for example, like Oklahoma, or even Cats, which is my favorite musical. But I also like pieces that have like almost like a 50-50. In other words, like 50% dance, 50% acting. That way the story kind of is like shown a little bit more, and it blends all together.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's awesome. All right, thank you. But Cats is actually one of my favorites. I've seen a lot of musicals, and we saw Cats in the professional, like the touring company, and it was amazing a long time ago when I was a kid. So
Yeah, and that's yeah, and Cats is actually I think that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with musical theater so much, because growing up when I was little, I would come home every day from dance, and I mean, I still have it to this day. I have an old VHS TV in my garage. I have the original VHS tape of the 1998 production of Cats. I would watch
Wow.
that literally I was obsessed. I knew every character, every musical number. I mean, still to this day, I listen to it. And anything by Andrew Lloyd Webber, like from Cats to Evita to Starlight Express to Joseph and the Amazing
Phantom.
Technicolor Dreamcoat, like yeah,
Oh,
Phantom. Yes,
yeah.
thank you. So yeah,
Yeah, it and Lloyd Webber was all, I mean, he just it was so, he made sure each one was so different. And I really
yeah,
liked that. Like, you know, because you can't say, oh, Starlight Express and Phantom of the Opera. And you're like, the same dude did both of these because they are totally different. So I like that. I feel like he's
yeah,
kind of
and
the Sondheim of his, like, of the whole dance and thing. Because Sondheim did that too. So it's just, yeah, that's amazing. So
yeah, and even when all those productions came out in the 80s, even though some of the music may sound very slightly the same, it's so different. Like Phantom is more like that one's more classical and ballet, whereas Cats is more like a mix of jazz, musical theater, ballet, and a little bit of tap and a lot of acrobatics and gymnastics. And
yeah.
Starlight Express is like more dancing on skates. So
Yeah. It's like working at the old, what was it, the old soda shops and stuff where they would skate around. And yeah, it's a really, Starlight Express is really interesting to see on stage because it's so,
yeah.
there's so many ramps and how they do all of the amazing things. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Um,
I even saw like on Facebook there was a video of, because I think there's a residential production of Starlight Express happening in London, and yeah, I'll have to pull it up and show you guys maybe after this. But just looking at that stage and like all the ramps, all I could think was, oh man, I just hope nobody falls, let
right.
alone like
Or,
gets themselves injured,
yeah,
because
right.
yeah, because usually in a professional show, like you would have to like keep going if something happens. But in a scenario like that, I would predict like if you fall and even on skates, like it's a done deal.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you're gonna break something, or you're gonna wish you did.
That
Uh,
doesn't sound as fun as the rest of the show.
Hey, you mentioned some of the classic musicals and shows, like VHS. That's awesome. It reminded me of like when we would record old school like Star Wars, like the original Star Wars from VHS to VHS, and then return it to like Blockbuster, and then watch ours over and over again until it fell apart. Um, what are some of the more modern shows, movies, musical performances that you're like, this is it, this is my jam? Like, are you putting the new Cats on repeat?
Uh,
okay, so
Okay
I
to
will
say
say,
no.
it's so funny. I mean, don't get me wrong, like the dancing in the new version of Cats,
Mhm.
and I love how they stuck with the same like storyline, the same like original songs that were in the Broadway show, and the cast was awesome. Like Taylor Swift, they have I think his name is Robbie Fairfield. He's a professional dancer with I think it's New York City Ballet or American Ballet Theater. You have Lake Twins, who were the season one winners of World of Dance. Jason Derulo, Jennifer Hudson. I
Mm.
mean, the cast of that was incredible, and again, the dancing in it, the music is awesome. The only thing I could say about it is I wish the CGI and actually making them look like cats was done like a little bit better. And I think that's why I like the 98 version a lot more.
mhm. Yeah.
Because yeah, because I feel like it was all like I think it was blended too much and it seemed a little bit weird since like when you look at them, it's mainly just like their face and their hands, but everything else is like a cat. Yeah, so
It kind of gives that uncanny valley feel, like where you're
yeah.
like, is it a cat, is it a person? And you're, it's like it creeps your brain out. I think that's what it is. You know, because yeah, I agree with you. The music was phenomenal, dancing on it. I mean, but it was just like Judi Dench was in it. Come on, Judi Dench was in it, y'all.
Yes.
So-
I will say though,
That I can't say.
I mean, Cats, like I said, Cats still to this day is my all-time favorite musical. The '98 version, though, I would say more modern time musicals. Some of my go-tos would be the new version of West Side Story, which a fun fact, one of the dancers, or a couple of the dancers in that film, you have Maddie Ziegler, such an icon. I mean,
Maddie Ziegler.
I'm sure everybody,
Dance
yeah,
Moms.
you probably recognize her from Dance Moms.
Yeah.
So, but she wasn't the only one in that show from Abby. Abby's one of her alumni that danced on her senior team, John Michael Fiumara, amazing tap dancer. He's actually in that movie as well. And a fun fact, me and a bunch of my competition team members, we went to Las Vegas 12 years ago. Can't believe it's been that long. And we went to a very big national. So it was a week-long event with competition classes, title wins, and things like that. So John Michael was actually so at that time he was part of Abby's senior team, and I don't know if you remember Peyton from season 2 of the show. So Peyton at that time, she was dancing on Abby's senior team with John Michael. So we got to meet Abby's senior team. The Dance Moms girls weren't there because they just did their nationals for the show. But yeah, finding out that John Michael was going to be in that film, because he's already in so many productions. He did Hamilton, he did Funny Girl, and now finding out that he did West Side Story, the live action like remake version. I was like, I gotta watch this, and just seeing him on screen and seeing him tap dance was just incredible.
That's awesome. That is amazing. So, do you? I'm gonna let James ask this question.
Well, DT Creates, our buddy Darren in the chat asked us earlier, but he said, "Can you teach us to dance like Ray Gunn from the Australian Olympic breakdancing team?"
Oh, Ray
Did
Gunn.
you see that?
I will admit I have not seen it, but I will have to look it up.
Okay, so
you don't want to teach us that dance. Just trust me.
No. Okay, look.
Okay, hold on. Backstory.
I'm a former breakdancer.
Yeah.
I am I used to teach hip hop in like right after high school. I taught hip hop dance. Reagan she's completely disrespecting the culture, because remember, hip hop is not just dance. Hip hop is a full on culture, and she disrespected the culture and everything that she did, and it kind of upsets me. What upsets me more is that she gets all of the attention and nobody else does. There have been a couple of people who have been like pushing to try and say, here are all the dancers that actually like danced through the actual competition. We need to like popularize the dancers who work so hard to get there. And the other guy from Australia, the male contestant from Australia, was a beast.
Ooh.
That guy was oh my god, he was so good. And it's like, why, like the male contestant from Australia was really good, but the female contestant, it turns out that it was she was only there because her husband was one of the judges.
Wow.
And her and her husband is also a really bad dancer.
So just to frame it, Ayden. So breakdancing in the Olympics, first time ever. It's groundbreaking for hip hop culture. It's huge for breakdancers to be on that type of international stage. This Australian competitor gets on stage and she does pretty much an interpretive type dance of like a kangaroo or something.
The whole thing is interpretive dance, which that's fine. But the thing is what the competition that she was in wasn't interpretive dance. The competition she was in was breakdancing.
And so there's certain criteria you have to hit. There has to be judges, right? Certain criteria you have to hit. She literally got a score of 0.
Right.
You're gonna have to look it up later.
But you know crazy... what? Forever, she will be an Olympic athlete.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what upsets me the most about it is not only did you disrespect the culture, but like now you will forever be known as, you know, the girl that crashed the Olympics.
I don't know.
Right.
That's been one of my achievements to unlock is to first I want it. Hold on. Husby's letting the dogs out.
Dogs are crazy right now. They're upset at Australia as well. So
Yeah.
They're they're corgis, so they have Welsh pride, and they didn't appreciate Australians' attempt at breakdancing. No, so I wanted to be an Olympic athlete. I swam for a little while, and I was like, oh, I want to go to the Olympics. I want to be a swimmer. So I always watched the swimming. Now I've decided, no, I mean, yeah, I'm okay at archery, but I don't think I'm going to ever qualify. So now I'm like, now I want to go to the Olympics.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually was almost gonna go to Europe this summer with a friend of mine, but I think with the Olympics going on and knowing that, flights are probably gonna be crazy expensive, hotels are gonna be sold out, and the crowds there are just gonna be ridiculous. But I got to see a little bit of it on TV, and I mean, I love all the sports, but for me, since it is somewhat dance related, I have to go with the gymnastics. But probably if I wasn't dancing, I would do rhythmic gymnastics, because to me, it kind of encompasses a lot of what you would see like with ballet or contemporary, but the mix of acrobatics and contortion work in there, and having to work with a prop. It's a challenge, but I mean, in the end, it's a lot of fun, and especially when you see it in a group, it's like I feel like there's just so much you can do with a group and the whole space around you.
Yeah, that and like the trampoline, even though it scares me because they go really high. But yeah, I was like, I'd love to do the trampoline. Okay, enough Olympics talk. No more Olympics. It's over.
Okay, I'll bring it back. Okay, which modern day musical would you love to perform in, and what character would you play?
I think we know this already, but okay.
Oh, so yeah, I already mentioned. Well, I mean, if Cats 2019 was redone again, I would most definitely do it. I would probably, if I had to choose one of the Cats, I would probably pick Mistopheles, because
Oh, that's a good one.
he's I mean, he's the magical cat, and even watching the 1998 film with, I think his name is Jacob Brent. I mean, he can jump and toe touch for days, and all the tricks he has in that are just incredible. But a go-to for me, I mean, still to this day, it's one of my favorites, would have to be The Greatest Showman. And it's not only it's not just a very age-appropriate musical for everybody, but the lessons in that film are, they're just applicable to life. That is, live your dream, work hard to get what you want, be happy with who you are, and feel comfortable with who you are. And it just so happens, not just Zac Efron, Hugh Jackman, and Zendaya, but there actually is a dancer who is a contestant on So You Think You Can Dance. I think it was season 6 or 7. His name is Alex Wong. Yeah. And again, like he's highly trained in ballet and contemporary. And I mean, he's one of my biggest inspirations. So I would probably play his part, either that or even just playing the lead that Hugh Jackman played in that film.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I love.
I
Alex
assumed
Wong.
it would just be cats. I was like, he's gonna say cats, and it's gonna be like Rum Tum Tummer or whatever.
That number 2.
I love Alex Wong. He was one of my favorites when I watched the show, but I still follow him on Instagram, and he's super fun. Him and I forgot his last name. First name's Mark. He's Hawaiian, but they put on some
Kanamara?
amazing performance. Yeah,
Mark Kanamara.
Awesome. Yes, super good. All right, let's get into some teaching, mentoring, choreography. So, I mean, you kind of grew up in reality TV age. So how has shows like So You Think You Can Dance, Dance Moms, how's that affected or changed maybe the way you teach dance or choreograph pieces?
Yeah, so I mean, growing up in the early 2000s, I mean, I mean, back then, social media wasn't like a big, huge thing because all you could pretty much watch is what you see on TV or like on shows or even in movies. So I definitely feel like since the introduction and continuation of So You Think You Can Dance, the dance world has really changed a lot in terms of like every choreographer's style with whether it's jazz, contemporary, tap, hip hop, and even dance moms. It's so funny. I remember when Dance Moms first came out. I remember I was over at my aunt's house. Me and my cousin Madison actually introduced me to the show. I'm like, what is this? And just watching it I was like, I mean, the dancing is amazing, but the moms are just crazy. but I feel like the dance world really changed a lot since Dance Moms aired. A lot of kids, like when you watch the show, you either want to do a switch leap like Maddie, or you want to do an aerial walkover like a lot of those kids, or just get really stronger in acrobatics like Brooke did. Yeah, so I mean, it definitely changed. It definitely changed, and even later on in the 2010s, when World of Dance came out, that one I actually loved a lot. I will admit, I think I like World of Dance a little bit more than So You Think You Can Dance because it's not just one group routine and a bunch of duet pairings each week. It's completely different. You'll see like multiple groups, whether they're small or large, or even like soloists, duos, trios. Like there's and seeing like every style like evolve and how people feed off of that. And even for me, with what I implement into my choreography, I mean, the sky's the limit.
Yeah. Cool. Did you find that kids started to become divas?
Well, not the one next to you.
Just so you guys know, he is legally obligated to say that, given that he is on the guy's show.
I mean, I feel like, not just the kids, but some of the parents, not like from our studio, but from other studios I've seen, like they kind of like maybe have fed off of that behavior and tried to, I guess like I don't know how to say, like
they think
like
they know the
control,
culture.
Exactly. Yeah. But I will say this. When you watch the show Dance Moms, it may seem crazy and all that, and some of it is done in real life, some of it is scripted, but off the show, a lot of those moms and kids, like some may come across as like mean or like bratty, but honestly, off the camera, they are super intelligent, super grateful. Even Peyton that I mentioned earlier from season 2, though she was depicted as a mean girl on the show, off the show, like when we met her in Las Vegas with Abby's senior team, she was the sweetest, kindest, still to this day, just again, super nicest girl you'll ever meet. And her mom Leslie, super nice.
Yeah, but I think that's a lot of like reality TV in general. They want you to kind of like play up the drama, so they'll say, okay, let's try and make you, or they'll try and like manufacture scenes and get them at their worst and say, oh, we got to record this so we can make them look bad on the show. Otherwise there's if
and
on the show, then what's the point in the show as far as like entertainment value? That's the way they look at it.
Yeah, and even
that's awesome.
Even with further research that I've done, like the thing is, all those producers that shoot the show, they never, like, as far as like from season 1 till like season 7, none of those producers ever danced. Like you didn't take like a combo class when you were like 3 or 4, or like first recital or anything. So I mean, the fact that they cast all this when they don't know anything about dance, it's like, I don't get
it. They're just there for the drama
and money.
Yeah,
they know that they'll get money out of it. That's really it. I actually took tap, jazz, and ballet in order to take baton twirling because that's what I was into. But I remember doing like shuffle steps and the ball tap, or was it ball tap change and stuff like that. And I enjoyed it. It just I wanted to throw.
That's an invitation for me to say, prove it.
No.
Fun
It's been a
fact:
long
I
time.
took ballet in high school for one reason and one reason only.
The
I played
girls.
football. No, I played football.
Well, that you know what? That's a good
There you
reason to
go.
do it. But
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
liked it.
yeah, a lot of football players, like both professionally or those that are just like starting out, they actually do take ballet to be light on your feet, because that's
Mhm.
because in ballet you're trained to keep everything right on the ball of your foot, because otherwise if you sit into your heel, it's not going to be, yeah. I mean, and that was, and I will admit, like, I didn't start taking ballet till I was 9 or 10, and this was like a year before I joined the company of the studio, but you know, my aunt and my family, they were like, all right, you want to do company, you got to do ballet. It's like, sorry, it's one of the requirements. And at the time, my first ballet teacher, I mean, she was okay, but then my new ballet teacher I got when I was around 13 or 14, which who actually still works at the studio. Shout out to Miss Natalia. She's actually a former prima ballerina with Sacramento Ballet. She danced with Joffrey Ballet School, Tokyo Ballet
Oh, wow.
School. So she
Oh,
comes with a
wow.
lot of credentials. I mean, she like really opened myself and my friends up even more to appreciate ballet even further for what it really is. Because, and even I will admit, growing up, you know, I was teased a lot when I told my friends, like, yeah, I do take ballet with dance. You know, like, what endured all of it, like stereotypical name calling, teasing, all that. But honestly, people that think ballet is just for girls, when you watch boys do ballet, like, it is incredible. Like, and plus, if that didn't even exist, who would be doing all the jumps, who would be doing all the turns, but especially who would be doing all the partner work with the
Yeah.
girls? How can you get a ballerina up with another ballerina? It just,
Yeah, that's not, they don't have the strength. So because you have to be light on your
yeah.
feet. So and I get it. I was gonna say, so that brings me to White Nights. Have you ever seen White Nights with Mikhail Baryshnikov?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So because it had oh gosh, who was the other guy in it? He was pretty good at tap dancing, but I can't remember. He was an actor. Anyway, I just, when you said that, you're like, guys not, doing ballet. And it's like, oh, what about Mikhail Baryshnikov? Come on, everybody. Like he was a pretty big deal back in the day. So
Yeah,
I love that. And
Baryshnikov,
I
you can't go wrong with
right.
Baryshnikov.
And I loved that. I loved ballet because to me, ballet, you have to use your whole body to express the emotion, even if you're just like, even if it's just you getting on your toes, your whole body uses, like, really you feel that emotion with your whole body. So it to me, it's just a beautiful dance
And two,
style.
it's
So
and two, like, whether it comes to, if you want to dance professionally as a hip hopper or a tapper, or even on Broadway, a jazz or a contemporary dancer, you have to take ballet, because it's the core, it's the foundation for everything that you can use, not just throughout ballet, but throughout other styles of dance as well. And plus, that's where you learn, like, your terminology, like knowing, like, because most of it is in French, so you have to know, like, okay, what does plie mean? What does tendu mean? What does renage mean? Not just for ballet, but again for all styles of
yeah.
dance, because they do
It's almost
utilize
the
that
language of
a lot.
dance.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And it's also, I think everybody should take at least one style of dance class. So, because it teaches you not just balance, and it teaches you about your body, like how you get your body to move, which can actually really help you in your life. Like, it's knowing what your limits are and what they're not. Like, that's really what it is. And I think that that's great. Dancing is such, we take for granted the arts, and especially like dancing,
Yeah.
because it's like, oh well, everybody can dance. Well, yeah, everybody can dance, but not everybody can dance well.
Yeah, and this
So
is and I mean, not just exactly learning how to move, but there's so many different aspects you learn, like, like what you mentioned, balance, but also posture, poise, you learn spatial awareness, how to get up in front of a room and speak, how to perform in front of an audience. But also, I think the biggest thing is when you go to see a professional show, you learn theater etiquette, like how to watch a show properly, how to behave when you're in the audience, when, and particularly when to clap and when not to clap. So,
Oh,
or
that's
when to go,
interesting.
because it's so amazing.
Real quick, Darren in the chat's asking, do you teach cha-cha? And I think he wants to pick up some girls or something because he wishes he knew cha-cha.
He just
So-
wants to learn the Spanish dances.
I like the
So
cha-cha.
I'm not highly trained in that's the one area I'm not trained the most in is ballroom, whether it's cha-cha, salsa, rumba. But what I am noticing, I've noticed over the last 5 or 6 years, ballroom at competitions, not just like a guy and a girl paired together, but even in a group setting, it's become really popular at a lot of our competitions. So, but I will say though, I am thinking about taking some classes in that style and eventually bringing that to the studio. However, a lot of choreography I do, like for example, I was teaching a combo with my theater class that I teach on Wednesdays. A lot of it has a bit of a ballroom salsa flair, like style wise and movement wise, but it's not like fully strict ballroom. It just has like a subtle influence to it, you know, with the hips and the arm movement and that crispness and precision and sharpness. So yeah. So again, I'm not highly trained in ballroom. I'm mainly tap, jazz, ballet, hip hop, contemporary, all that.
Yes, but you have to love the costumes, right? All the feathers and the sequins.
Oh yes, feathers, fringe, a lot of rhinestones. I mean, and not just I will
And
say
that's just
though,
the
like, not
hair.
just in dance,
Yeah.
and the hair too. Got it either in a ponytail or bun, mainly ponytail. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, what is it like going from being a performer all your life into transitioning into, like, saying, becoming a mentor, a teacher, and a choreographer? Like, what has that process been like for you?
Well, I started choreographing when I was 14. I was a freshman in high school. Yeah, I graduated from River City High School. Go Raiders. And so
Raiders.
at the same time, while I was dancing at the studio, I was also at the dance program at River City High, and the dance teacher there, Miss Adams, shout out to you, Miss Adams. She, she just saw like how passionate I was, how hard I worked, and just how I performed. And one day she just came up to me and said, "Hey, you want to choreograph something for our program?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And again, at that time, I was still dancing on the company at the studio, but all of this took place during school. So, so my first piece I did, it was me. I got four girls together, and we just did like a small group. And I mean, it wasn't like, I will admit, it wasn't like very like technical, as you would say. It was more, just very simple. Put something together to showcase in front of an audience. But I think just that, and eventually working up to choreograph something for the whole class, and you really learn so much as a student. Even when I started working at the studio after I graduated from high school, I learned that it's one thing, to choreograph a dance, but I realized that in order to get the dancers to do what I wanted visually to be done, whether that's a jump, a turn, a kick, I had to make them better dancers first. So so at the time when, during internship at the studio, I was assisting classes and helping out with choreography, and mainly just learning how to teach, because with kids of all ages, no matter how young they are to how old they are, and also levels of difficulties, learning how to teach it's a different art, and you learn so much from that. And it kind of opens you up to like
So, I mean, you see them as your little puppets, right? They're your little puppets.
Little Pinocchio.
Little puppets. Do, 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 do.
I'm your puppet.
So I didn't know this, and I'm sure that James or Phil knew this, but so you choreographed the dance, the magic, the parade. You
so
did that?
yeah. So for those of you that do not know, Dance the Magic is it's an organization. They're based out of Huntington Beach. It's owned by really good friend of ours. Her name is Debbie Barr. Shout out to you, Debbie. It's run by her and her daughter Jenna Lee, who is a who was actually a Disney performer back then, danced in college. So Jenny is she's actually the lead choreographer for all the parades for Dance Magic. We as teachers from studios, we get submitted we get sent a video of the choreography. It's taught by Jenny. We have to learn that all on our own. Like all the studios that go, whether you're from California, Ohio, New York City, we have to learn all that choreography, and then we teach that to the kids to get them ready for dancing down Main Street at Disneyland, or dancing down Main Street at Walt Disney World, or being on stage in New York City with Dance Magic on Broadway. So yeah, but yeah, it's a lot of fun, and we do it every other year. It's usually during the odd years. So 2023, that was our first big year back with Dance to Magic, because we had just come out of COVID. And I will admit, I did get a little bit emotional watching the kids. And yes, and so this past summer, we went to a big nationals with our team. So what we do is we alternate Dance to Magic and then a nationals, and then we just keep going from there. So next year's going to be, next year's going to be really exciting, because it's the 70th anniversary at Disneyland. So getting to dance down Main Street is going to be so much fun.
Oh, that'll be amazing. That is so great. Yeah, I love Disneyland. When we lived in California, we had season passes. My son that's 21 now, he went to Disney probably around the same age you were. So totally love it.
Yeah. So, yeah, Dance to Magic is it's kind of what opened me up to dancing like pre-professionally, because I started our first year we did it. My first year was when I was 8 years old. It was it was during the 50th anniversary, and then
that's a good time to get in.
Yeah. So yeah, we've gone in 05, 07. We didn't go in 09. We did return in 11, 13, and then 15. 2015, that was my senior year. That year was a lot of fun, because the song we danced to was "You Can't Stop the Beat" from Hairspray. Such a fun song. I still remember a little bit of the choreography to this day. But what I loved about this is that our costume. What I loved about is that with the group that we were in, our costume colors at the time, it was the 60th anniversary. So Disneyland was just decked out in whites, blues, turquoises. So our costumes were actually in that color.
That's cool.
It was just, yeah, it was picture.
That's awesome.
But again, to me, it was like it wasn't just the cherry on top of our whole Disney trip as a whole, but just in general, it was like the cherry on top of my senior year, it was such a fun year. Yeah. So I don't know.
And I bet it was like doubly fun for you, because you're you love Disney so much that getting to perform there. I can't imagine.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
a good transition into Disney.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Before we leave dance, Darren has a quick question. Any advice for a beginning dancer? One piece of advice.
No matter how young you are or how old you are, everybody deserves a chance to dance. So, I mean, whatever style you may be interested in, whatever you can find for your age and level of difficulty, go for it. And again, what was I going to say? And again, and piggybacking off of what I mentioned earlier, because before then, when I graduated, I thought I was going to work with, our senior dancers, or dancers that were kind of a year younger than me. And I mean, almost every teenager goes through that when they graduate. They want to choreograph immediately for the senior company, but it's better to start with beginners. Like a lot of the classes I assisted, I was working with like 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, and like, again, having to choreograph something versus teaching how a 3-year-old to do a cartwheel, like that's teaching. So, again, I mean, no matter how old you are or how young you are, whatever
attention span,
or attention span, just go for it.
I like it. That is good. Okay. Disney. You want to do Disney?
Let's do Disney.
Sure. Okay. I don't know if you noticed, I got home around 6:15, so I had to throw a different shirt on.
I like it.
Yeah.
Very
well,
nice.
old
very
school Mickey Mouse.
Oh yeah.
All right, so tell us about your love for Disney. Is it all things Disney? Is it the movies? Is it the parks? What draws you in to Disney?
Well, when I was little, I grew up I grew up on a lot of the classics, from Peter Pan to Snow White to Cinderella to Fox and the Hound, Fantasia 2000. Like I grew up on so many, but a lot of my personal favorite films, like old films, were those from the 40s that incorporated music as well as animation, like Fantasia, Make My Music, Melody Time, Free Caballeros, and also and yeah, like those that had like history to it. And so I have a big love for the classics, and of course Disneyland. It's my home away from home. My mom, my siblings, and we've all gone there since we were little kids. So I mean, it holds a really special place in my heart. Like right when you walk through the front doors or the front gates, you feel transported from reality to something just completely different. So going to Disneyland, I grew up on. When I was a little kid, I was mainly with the Fantasyland rides because I wasn't tall enough to get on Space Mountain. But then during my first year of Dance the Magic in 05, that's when I kind of started to explore some of the more higher throw rides. Whether that's Space Mountain or Thunder Mountain or Splash Mountain, Haunted Mansion. I will admit though, the one ride that scared me the most was Tower of Terror, like before it became Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, the Twilight Zone version of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think
still in Florida.
Mainly because I think with how young and little I was, like I didn't really understand the Twilight Zone that much, and like at that time it was just too dark. But as I got older and through dance training, with learning different time periods of dance, it kind of like helped me appreciate it a little bit further. And what happened during that era in the 1920s, the 30s, and so yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love Tower of Terror too. My husband at the time did not, so we did not ride it twice. I wanted to ride it twice. He did not. It was the dropping. And I was like, I'm so scared. I love this. I'm so scared. I love this.
It's dropped. It's fine.
And I will say though, when I was younger, me and my cousins, we were just all about the rides. Like, hey, parents, go do whatever you want. We're gonna go on these rides. We'll meet you back maybe in an hour or so. But then as we got older, as we kind of matured more, we not only go just for the rides, but we like to go for the whole experience now. And even to this day, like when my mom and I go, we usually go for 4 days. So, and I mean, in 4 days, that's like plenty of time to knock out every single ride. But in between that, we're going to see the fireworks at night. We're going to see, we're going to see Fantasmic. We're going to see World of Color. We're going to eat at really nice restaurants. So like we go for the whole experience. And so yeah.
Fun story. I found out I was pregnant at Disneyland.
Really?
So I found I was pregnant because, I remember going before it had Downtown Disney and all that, and it had just opened, and we were leaving Disneyland, and it was like, hey, let's have dinner, and so we had dinner, and I had one glass of wine, and I was totally blitzed, and then I took a pregnancy test the next day.
Oh man!
Wow. So. And I'm so glad Shadoo's not here because he would be so embarrassed for me.
I was going to say, that's what happened to Liam? Oh, interesting.
Liam had tea with Mary Poppins when he was a kid. He met Mickey, and yeah.
This explains why Liam hates Santa Claus so much.
Yeah, that was another one I was going to mention, Mary Poppins, which it was actually our production from last season, and this year is the 60th anniversary of Mary Poppins. That film for me was another film and musical that was still to this day is one of my all-time favorites. Dick Van Dyke as Bird, one of the chimney sweeps, and even today for his age, I think he's 95 or 96. he's still moving. He's still walking. He's
yeah.
still dancing. I remember 10 years ago, I saw on ABC the Disneyland 60th anniversary special. And when he came out, the entire audience stood up. Like, I was like, wow. Like,
Yeah.
even with how old he is, he continues to inspire the next generation of dancers.
Well, he was in the actual, like, the Mary Poppins Returns. He played the like the banker, like the son of the, you know, who was super old at that time. Yeah. So I was just like, no way, that's Dick Van Dyke. Yeah. So I love Mary Poppins. Loved Mary Poppins. So
Such a classic.
Speaking of that, who's
Horrible
your
accent.
favorite Disney character?
So, I mean,
Is that like saying who's your favorite child?
Mickey, of course, because he's a classic. He's such an icon. But I'd say my two favorites would be BB-8 from the Star Wars series. And fun fact, I have another baseball jersey just like that. It says I got it from a website called Park Friends. It says droids on the front. It's got BB-8 on the back, and I think it's on the sleeve or here, but on the back it says 15, which is not only the year that he came out, but that was also like, and when I say came out, like he came out like in the theaters with his first film, The Force Awakens, which was also my senior year. So that jersey, I should have put it on, but that one, that one holds a special place in my heart. But
that's awesome.
I also really like Wally. I mean, fun fact, my pop socket and my wallet, both of them Wally, and I have a couple lounge flies that are Wally as well.
Oh,
Nice.
that's amazing. So you're into droids. That's what we're getting here.
Growing up when I was little, you know, besides dancing, I was always into like outer space, astronomy, stars, galaxies, like everything. And when I saw Wally and the whole Star Wars series, I was just blown away.
Oh, that's great. I mean, I love that because you need to meet Shadu. You guys would get along really well because he's totally into stuff like that too. So
I was at I forgot what year, Star Wars Celebration, when they were announcing the new movies, and the first thing they did, and I was like 4 rows back, I was in front. They rolled out BB-8, and everybody's mind just blew up. It was amazing. We're like, what the heck? My phone's all shaking. No way! It was awesome. It was awesome.
And BB-8 is such a little love. I mean, you gotta love BB-8 because he's got that sass. He's got enough sass, but not R2-D2 sass. So you know, it's like it's the sass for the next generation. So
Right.
So okay. So now we said favorite. So who are you like? I guess I like this one if I have to, character wise. You can say nobody if you want. You can be political. It's okay.
Honestly, I mean, out of those three, again, Mickey Mouse, like such a classic. And he's very universal, especially when he was in Fantasia during the Sorcerer's Apprentice, and that story being extended into Fantasmic at Disneyland. But I mean, he's in so many different specials and movies and shows that, I have to go with the classic. But honestly,
you get so tired of everybody's impressions of Mickey Mouse. I mean, nonstop, these people who building Legos doing Mickey Mouse impressions.
But honestly, I'd say with each movie that comes out, it really varies. I have favorite characters for some movies, and not just because of their personality, but a lot of my favorite characters are ones that that kind of almost like ones that I can relate to. Again, Mickey, he's very universal. Me, I grew up not just being a tapper, but also being well-rounded, universal in all styles of dance. Or even someone that's adventurous, like Wally. You know, he's a robot, the only one left on Earth, goes into outer space. That's an adventure in itself. So yeah, again, it really just depends on the show, the movie, and their personality and how I can kind of relate to it in so many different ways with how I grew up.
I think it's important too to have those characters, and Disney does that really well, where it's characters that have that universal appeal and can be relatable. So, I like that. I like that. Like, look, I'm never going to be a mermaid, but I totally understand wanting to be in a different place and go and be with other people and learn something new. And so that's why The Little Mermaid is accessible to people, or Beauty and the Beast. I tell you what, you give me a library, I'm gonna be fine. So it's
I
like,
will say my sister, her go-to is Ariel, because she actually does have red hair, just like the original animated
okay.
Ariel. Fun fact, my two siblings, they both have red hair. So I'm the youngest of three kids, and not only do we have all A names, but our mom took it further and gave us AJ names. So it's Ashley. I'm just gonna say their first name. Ashley, she's the oldest. Austin's the middle, and then me, Ayden. So when my mom was pregnant with me, she thought she would have another redhead, because Ayden in the Bible, it means little fire, or fiery, or warm from God. So what she thought was going to be a fiery redhead ended up being a fiery personality towhead. Came out, blonde hair, brown eyes. Surprise! Sorry. So, yeah.
Hey, you gotta do that every now and then to your parents.
But when you put all four of us next, like my mom, my brother, my sister, when you put us all next to each other, I mean, even though our hair colors are totally different, the biggest thing we share a lot, and we get this from people a lot, is our smile and our facial expressions.
Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing. All right. So what's an underrated Disney property? So something that you like, that you really feel could be huge if Disney said, hey guys, you really need to watch this. Like, what's something you like that that not a lot of people know about, I guess.
As far as movies, not just the old time classics, which I encourage people to watch, but also too some of the more underrated films in the early, or I should say late 90s and early 2000s, like Inspector Gadget with Matthew Broderick. But you got to watch the animated series first. But my three favorites from the 2000s would be Emperor's New Groove, because I love the soundtrack, and plus the cast in it, Eartha Kitt.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry.
And Patrick, I forget his last name, but still to this day, he's an icon.
Is it Wilson? Patrick Wilson?
No.
No. Okay.
The voice
Squeaky squeak squeak squeak.
Oh, okay.
I also love Atlantis, The Lost Empire. That one it's still one of my favorites to this day. Not just the whole story and just the adventure side of it, but I'm especially fond of movies that have a really good soundtrack. And the soundtrack for Atlantis, James Newton Howard, he's one of my all-time favorites, one of my favorite composers to this day. But also Treasure Planet. Those three, if anybody that's watching this, I highly encourage you to watch those three films. They're on Disney Plus. You can check them out, because you kind of see an evolution of animation, from cartoon to kind of a little bit of 3D with Atlantis, and then into more CGI with Treasure Planet, and then seeing how that's evolved into some of the other CGI films that have developed. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Patrick Warburton. That's who.
Patrick Warburton. Okay.
Warburton. Yep.
Patrick Wilson sings. Okay, so that's why I was like, oh, is it Patrick Wilson? Sorry.
Squeak squeak squeak.
But they're totally different people. So.
When he's speaking squirrel.
Yeah. All right. So, okay. Let's do it this way, because the next one is about snacks and foods in the park. All right. So you go into the park, you see the big Disneyland thing. You're like, I'm in Disneyland. There's the train. You walk under the bridge and you get into Main Street. What's the first snack? What's the first thing you're like, I have to eat this. This is my Disney experience.
Whether it's rope drop or at noon or at night, what's the first thing you eat?
Well, So my mom and I usually go. We usually go Friday through Monday, and we fly down there. We take an early flight Friday morning. We come home late. Come home late Monday evening. So we do 4 days at the park. The first thing I do as soon as I go through, I head right for the churro stand on Main Street, and I always shoot there. I have so many videos of this on my Facebook and on my Instagram of me just showing off Disneyland, and then turning the camera towards me with the churro. And giving them away.
I'm telling you, those Disney churros, they've got crack in them or something because they're delicious. They are so freaking good. I live in Oklahoma, and there's a beautiful churro place here, like
Really?
in Tulsa. Yes, there's a huge Hispanic population in Tulsa, and it is like you have to like know the Spanish words to order a churro in it. That's how like authentic it is. And I will take a Disneyland churro over that.
Yeah, I will say, there's stands all over the park, but my two go-tos are, and this varies like depending on what part of the park I'm in. But again, the Main Street, always got to go to that one. But if you want really hot and fresh churros, I recommend the stand in New Orleans across from the Haunted Mansion.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good spot to get popcorn too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh,
but if you're in California Adventure though, the only one that's really, really hot and fresh is I think it's called Willie's churros. It's towards the entrance of Grizzly Peak, right before you're about to head down towards Pixar Pier.
Okay. All right. I know. Yeah. I was like, okay, that sounds familiar, but I don't know where it is. Yeah. Last time we went, we stayed at the.
I see a question here on the screen. How much are Disney churros now? $5.50. $5.50. It's probably going to be $6.50 next year.
Just throwing it out there. So my favorite place to get churros, they're not the freshest, but when you're going into downtown Disney from the plaza, there is a specific churro stand there that does
California churro.
I think that might be it.
Yes.
Instead
that's a good one too.
Instead of putting cinnamon sugar, they do like cereal.
Oh, that's cool.
They do cereal, apple cinnamon, French toast. I mean, they have a lot of good flavors. So they're my go-to also.
So, okay, so there's tons of places to eat, right? Like restaurants and stuff. What's your what's your go-to, like the one that you guys have to hit, like you and your mom have to hit in your 4-day thing? Like you're like, okay, if we don't go to this restaurant, it's not truly a Disney experience.
You've met your churro quota per day, but you're still hungry. What are we going to do?
Well, if we're having breakfast, if we're in Disneyland, we always go to Carnation Cafe. So I'll go like one location at a time, like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So breakfast in Disneyland, Carnation Cafe. Lunch, probably lunch or dinner would be the Blue Bayou.
Blue Bayou is so good.
But actually, I would put Blue Bayou for dinner because one place we do like, and it isn't necessarily reservation based. It would be the Plaza Inn, right at the entrance of Tomorrowland. Their
fried chicken.
Their pasta is so good. It's so good.
James, have the best fried chicken anywhere.
You go get that fried chicken, and this is the thing: it's the only place in Disneyland that's gonna have green beans. What? Who goes to Disneyland to eat green beans? Right? So
apparently you do.
You're willing to eat green beans to get to this fried chicken. But my Disney hack is instead of ordering green beans with your fried chicken, you order double mashed potatoes with your fried chicken, and you're set. You're carbo loaded. Let's get going.
That's awesome. Yeah, I like those restaurants.
In California Adventure, though, I'd say for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we alternated every day, so we don't like make we don't do like multiple reservations per day, or like for one full day. We just do like one per day. Mm-hmm. I'd say the one place you can get everything, no matter what time of the day is it would be Lamplight Lounge. A lot of people think that.
I don't think I went to
that
one.
So if you've been to, so Lamplight Lounge, it used to be Ariel's Grotto /
I went to Ariel's Grotto.
So in 2017, So when they closed, and changed the theme from Paradise Pier to Pixar Pier, they put both of those levels and those restaurants into one Lamplight Lounge.
Oh, that's cool.
And a lot of people think that they think, oh, they only have lunch and dinner. Their brunch menu, if you're lucky enough to get a reservation there, their brunch is so good. It is so good.
That's awesome.
But another place we really like, actually, two other places we like.
Hold on. While we're on Lamplight Lounge, don't forget, lobster nachos are amazing.
Oh, yes.
Just throwing it out there. And another like Disney secret. If you have a party of, I think it's 6 or more, you can request there's like a special room to the side, and that room has a balcony, so you can be right on the water, like and look out at Pixar Pier and all the rides and everything. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Our two other places we like are the Carthay Circle restaurant. But sometimes though we just go in there like for just a snack. But the other place we like is Wine Country Trattoria. They have probably the best Italian food. But not just the food, they have the best Moscato. I'm more of a white wine guy.
I'm taking notes. I'm mentally taking notes. Okay, this place has Moscato. Let's go there.
Hey, when you're out here in California, Frey, for LA Comic-Con and come hang out with us, we'll take you to Disneyland. That's fine.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure Ayden will come down and meet us and eat a churro or 7. It's all right.
We'll all have like churros. We'll do like an Insta.
Yeah, or I can try and make it. I mean, on our recent trip, we went to Disneyland. So my mom and I went for May the 4th back in May earlier this year. Within a span of 4 days, I had 9 churros. Almost made it to 10. I was so close, but yeah.
But you had to mortgage your house for that, though, right?
That's funny. Oh my gosh, it's 7:30 already. Let's breeze through some of these because
we want to jump back into the bracket a little bit too.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to just go to the learning about? I mean, we talked a lot about food, so
we did talk a lot about food. Wait, hold on. You mentioned May the 4th. Tell us your favorite times of the year to go to Disneyland. I know you do some special events. So when do you choose to go to Disneyland?
So when my mom and I so when I was still dancing at the time, we only went to Disneyland every other year. Or every 2 years, because that's when we take our dance troupe down there. But in 2017, after that year was my first year, like not dancing in the parade. I was a teacher. So I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I don't want to wait every 2 years. So I begged her. I convinced her to get season passes. So we went in 2018, we got season passes. We went to Disneyland 4 times. We went in January for winter break, March, spring break. We went in July, summer break, and then November, fall. So we basically been to Disneyland all the seasons. One of our favorite times to go is for an event called Dapper Day. Dapper Day is it's an event at Disneyland. It started a little over, I'm going to say 13 years ago, 2011. And it just started with a small group of vintage loving kids that have now grown it into, it's grown so much to not just being here in California, but also in Florida and in Paris. You just come and dress dapper. And what I like about it too is that it's very laid back and chill. You're not in a big rush to do anything, especially if you're going to go all out with a 1940s victory roll or a dress with heels or a 3-piece suit. So Dapper Day, it happens, it's twice a year. They do it in April and they do it in November. We have done both. We've done it both times for the past 7 years. I'd say fall is like the best time to go to Disneyland. Like I'd say early November, right after Halloween, is the best time to go. Some of the Halloween decor may be transitioning into winter, but the weather there is really nice. It's not too hot, not too cold, not too humid. The crowds are pretty decent, unlike last year. But we went last year for Dapper Day, and it was the same weekend as Veterans Day, and it was the start of Festival of the Holidays, so it was packed. Luckily this year it's literally right after Halloween. So
That's good.
yeah. Fall is like our favorite time to go to Disneyland. And of course, in the summer with Dance and Magic.
Awesome. That's awesome. Okay. So let's get back to learning about you. So, what would a dream Disney project or franchise be? Like, what would if you could do a Disney movie or a Disney TV show? I mean, I don't know, like money wise, what you'd want to do, but like, what would you want to be a part of?
Oh, probably. I mean, definitely something that had a lot of music and dancing in it. If I was to pick, if I was to pick one show I'd like to be part of, animation wise, probably Phineas and Ferb, because both of them they're both very adventurous. They have so many different ideas, and I relate to that in so many different ways because I come up with so many ideas every day for dance routines when I hear music or just whatever the case may be, and then kind of bringing that to reality. So yeah.
And you'd sing the Aglet song, right?
If it was a if I was to pick a live action Disney film to be part of or even show, ooh, again, I don't know, probably Greatest Showman, because I relate to it in so many different ways with dancing. But probably if I was to work at the Disney parks with any area, of course, working at one of the stage shows they have at the Fantasyland Theater. But if I was to pick a ride or an attraction, if it was still around today, I probably would choose Tower of Terror.
Yeah. No. Okay. All right. Awesome.
Because it's the one ride that scared me and the one ride I grew out of.
Still in Florida.
Grew out of.
Wouldn't you want to be in Star Wars? You can be with BB-8.
And that too. Yep.
There you go.
Yep. Yeah. Definitely the Star Wars area. If it wasn't something like full on Disney or attraction based, just mainly being being involved in the whole story and setting, definitely the Star Wars area.
Yeah, that would be cool. And you get to wear like cool, like if you were like with BB-8, you might be in Jedi robes or a cool jacket, or that would be the most comfortable to me. It would be like something like that. So what would, like, this is not just Disney, just anything. What do you believe would be, not it's already happened, but would be the worst movie sequel ever to be made?
Oh man.
And if you say Barbie, I'm okay with that.
Worst sequel. I'd say Inspector Gadget 2.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I really liked I liked the original I think it was 98 or 99 cast with Matthew Broderick, such an icon. I mean, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and he was also in the producers with
I was going to ask you what's his name? He played
Tim Lane.
didn't
Nathan
Lane. Yeah.
Or Nathan Lane, that's who it is. Yeah.
Which is a guy that has a massive history with musical theater. So
yes,
yeah,
he was also in the
Games.
Birdcage or La Cage aux Folles. Anyway, all right. Who would you most like to sit next to on a 10-hour flight, and why?
Ooh.
Now this answer can be anybody alive, dead. They come back for one day, and you get to have a conversation with them for 10 hours.
Ooh, dead or alive?
And if they came back, if they're dead, they're not zombies, so you can actually have conversations. It's not.
I definitely would choose Robin Williams because he's just all around like actor, comedian, singer, dancer. Like he's everything, and his credentials with Disney as well as many other films. He's amazing. I would definitely choose Robin Williams.
So, all right. So, really important question. What are you currently nerding out
on? A lot of stuff. Still to this day, like almost everything in Disneyland, but in particularly, I'm really nerding out on a lot of the stuff that was just announced at D23, and looking at some of the attractions that they announced for, the Monsters Inc. section in Hollywood Studios, to Spider-Man in China, to now Avatar coming to California, that I'm like beyond excited for. And that's something else, besides being a Disney fanatic, besides being a dancer, teacher, and choreographer. That's also one fun fact about me is I'm like, since I was a little kid, I'm a thrill seeker, roller coaster enthusiast, junkie. Like,
That's awesome.
yeah. Yeah, and even in the concept art, when I saw that they're finally doing like the door scene roller coaster from Monsters Inc., that I'm really excited about. If we make it out to Florida again, when it opens though, not when it's under construction. When it opens, most definitely I'm going to be getting on it.
Yeah, that seemed really cool with the doors and stuff. I was like, I don't know how I couldn't like wrap my head around how they were going to do it. So I really want to see it in person. So yeah, I'm totally there with you.
But also,
all right.
too,
So, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, mainly, there's like a few coaster enthusiasts and thrill seekers that I follow on Instagram, YouTube. I mean, I've been watching some of their stuff since I was a little kid. But kind of getting their predictions and seeing like their insight of like where they're going to put things, like in particularly the Avatar section that's going to come to California Adventure. All I could think was the only area that they could put it in is the Hollywood section, like where the Monsters Inc. ride is, or I mean, that would mean they'd have to take some stuff out, but I think they could probably come up with something. But that would mean though they would have to maybe retrack the trolley car from Buena Vista to who knows where they're going to put it.
Right. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, but it's cool. I love that Disney tries to reinvent itself like every few years so that nothing gets really, really stale. So that's good. And then they bring stuff back and you're like, oh, nostalgia.
As Walt Disney said, Disneyland will never be complete.
Yep. That crazy freeze-dried guy. I mean, he's not in Disneyland Frozen until we can find out how to cure him. No.
Hey, real quick, before we get to the wrap-up questions, I do have a real talk question. We know some of your students are watching right now. Who's your favorite dance student?
Again, you are legally obligated to say it.
Oh man!
Oh my God! Don't answer it.
Answers is on the screen right there. So
I will say this. I love all of my students. And again, each one has, every student has their own strengths. Every student has their own weaknesses. But seeing how we blend that together with choreographing a routine and seeing the finished product in the end, it's worth it.
Awesome. By the way, you're a great teacher, and everybody raves about you. Just so you know.
Thank you.
You chose the best political answer that you could have given.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I cannot. This is why James isn't on the build very much.
Hey, don't blame me. I'm getting muscled out of the way here. What's happening?
So Phil has the most important question that you will be asked in your entire life.
Yeah, this is a very, very, very difficult question. Just are you ready for this?
Yes.
All right. What is your favorite kind of taco?
Oh, me, I'd say a soft. I would say a soft taco. Not Taco Bell though. I'm more into like Jim Boy's and Chipotle. I was obsessed with Taco Bell, but now it's Chipotle. That was my mom in the background. Now it's Chipotle or Jim Boy's tacos.
That's yeah. So are you like more of like a chicken or like what kind of protein do you put in it, or is you just all veg?
It's it depends. I'm not a vegetarian though. I am a full-on carnivore.
Oh, there. Good man.
So,
good man.
It varies each time. It could be chicken, beef, carne asada. Yeah, just depends on the mood.
There's a Jim Boy's Tacos down the street from the dance studio. It is dangerous. I'm just saying, it's dangerous for me.
That area, and even before it was Jim Boy's Tacos, before then it was Wiener Schnitzel, and then it closed, and it stayed dormant for, gosh, I'm gonna say six,
It's a while.
6 or 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long time.
So, what's your best Disney trip tip that you could
Ooh.
give to somebody?
Well, definitely, I'd say definitely plan. Mainly plan ahead. Reach out to somebody or find somebody that has history with it. Like for example, we went to Florida for the first time earlier this year, which was a lot of fun. And we thought about going, but the only difference with this versus how it is in California is all the parks are spread out. So definitely, if you go to Florida, plan on one full day at each park. No matter if it's a week or 10 days of a trip, definitely plan for that span. As far as Disneyland goes, you can probably get away with maybe 2 days, whether it's one park per day. But for us, we like 4 days, and we like to park hop because I feel like California Adventure, you can knock everything out in maybe 2 hours, whereas Disneyland is like a full day. But like I said, we usually go 4 days, and with how many times we've already gone in the past, like we know where everything is, and so we're not in a big rush to do everything. But definitely plan ahead, kind of schedule out what you want to do, and do research on like what restaurants you want to eat at, what seems the highest quality, not just food wise, but experience wise. Because that's like one thing we really look into, especially when we went to Florida, and planning it out with a friend of mine from the Nevada City area. She helped us out a lot. If you're watching this, Yesenia, love you. Thank you so much.
Shout out. We haven't done any shout outs, right? So
I've done a few. I've done a few with the dance portion. So definitely having a good plan and a good schedule to know like what parks you're going to go to and what you're going to do throughout the day, and make sure you get the most out of it, not just the rides, but the food and the shows and the entertainment, whatever each one has, go for it all.
Nice.
Right. Okay, so we had all these like who wins in a fight, but I'm only going to ask you one because I just want to do that. All right, so who wins in a fight, churro or Dole Whip?
If it's a hot day, Dole Whip. If it's a cold day, churro.
There you go. See, and again with the political answer. So, I love it.
I don't know about that. I didn't hear how many Dole Whips did you eat when you had 9 churros in one trip?
What you don't know is he put the Dole Whip in the churros and he ate them both together.
There you go.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing. Next Disneyland trip.
Best Disneyland trip ever. That's amazing.
All right. So where can everyone follow you and learn more about you?
Yes. I'm on Instagram. My handle is at Mr. Ayden Carrol. So it's Mr.AYDEN CARROLL. That's my personal account. I post everything dance, Disney. This may sound crazy, but anytime I hear like news come up, no matter how many slides there are Disney related, I share all of them so people can see the pictures. I'm on Facebook with my full name here on screen, Ayden Jenner Carrol. That's also my YouTube channel. I post a lot of dance videos from my company, also with the River City High School dance program, and also and also I do a lot of Disney vlogs, but I'm a little bit behind on posting the Disney vlogs, but I'm going to get them out as soon as I can before the new year. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, you do post a lot. Like your stories are very good news sources, so we appreciate that.
Thank you.
And by the way, I'm very aware I still owe you a Lego kit. So I mean, because you won that contest.
Yeah, I will say that's another thing. Besides dancing and teaching, if I'm not doing either, I'm usually doing Lego sets, which I will say.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to my mom. She's actually the one that started all this. I have a watering can with a bunch of flowers in it. I mean, it's a full like Lego set. We were at the Galleria one time. My mom was like, "Oh, I want that," and she even went into the store and she was like, "Can I have the one that's on display?" And they're like, "No." So she got the set and she was like, "Can you build this?" I'm like, "All right." So since then, she's got me on a Lego like hookup.
Nice. You got a dealer. You got a Lego dealer. That's amazing.
And it's your drip dealer.
Yeah,
Lego drip dealer.
Yeah, we have like I think we have like 9 sets now spread throughout the whole house.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We kept you basically the whole 2 hours, so sorry.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Next time we got to talk more Disney, because now that we know that you're
Yeah.
all into the news and all the latest, next time we have a bunch of Disney stories, we got to have you back.
Oh,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to wear the BB-8 shirt. We haven't
Yeah.
seen that yet, so
I will. I promise. Yeah, actually, our next Disney trip is going to be November 1st to the 4th, so Fall Dapper Day, and our whole theme for the weekend is going to be Florida to California. So we're picking 2 things from Florida and we're bringing that to California. So
Nice.
of course there's going to be Tower of Terror. We're going to be dressing up as bellhops, but within like
cool.
a little bit of a 1950s style. And then the second day we're going to do Orange Birds from Epcot.
Oh,
That
wow. That's going to
is
be fun.
awesome. I cannot wait to see
Yeah.
that. We have friends. I'm going to do a shout out. Shout out to our friend Albie Madrigal and our friend Chris Beal, who both go to Dapper Day and they love it. So I can't wait to see your outfits.
Yeah.
I have to say this. Anytime I'm on and I'm in charge of the brackets, we hardly ever get the brackets done. I just want to say that because I like talking to people.
It's fine. It's okay. The whole point of the bracket is, one, if the guest doesn't have enough time, but two, to fill in space. So I mean,
Okay.
didn't have time filler.
We do. Somebody wants to say something. Come on, co-host.
Can I know the theme for the performance team?
So if you don't know, Chemo's he's part of our performance team, which is part of our company at the studio. So we have 2 teams, performance and intensive. Intensive is more of our like elite competition team. And performance, they also do we have a special group of performance team dancers that are learning a competition piece as well. And they just do it locally. But every year with our performance team, we do a big production. So throughout the years, we've done like from our first year to where we are now, we've done Rock of Ages, Guardians of the Galaxy. We've done Beach Bash, Candyland, Road Trip, Night at the Disco, Fiesta. Last year we did Barbie. Yeah, and it's a big, huge group number. We use a full medley of songs from the soundtrack. We take it to the Harlem Globetrotters, the Kings game, River Cats game. Nice. So we have a performance team production, and then the last 3 years we've done a production with our intensive team that we take to our competitions. That one's more story theater driven base. I will say this.
Give him a hint.
Stay
You
tuned.
don't have to tell him. This is no pressure, even though he is pressured.
Even though he's going really close to the theme.
I will say, whatever the theme is, it's going to be awesome, especially this year because it's our studio's 30th anniversary. This year's all anniversaries. I mean, next year it'll be 10 years since I graduated high school, 65 years for my grandparents, 70 years for Disneyland, and 30 years for our studio.
If you haven't done the
Awesome.
theme yet, I think I have a really good one that would fit in with an anniversary type thing.
Ooh.
Gem, glitter, and gold.
Ooh.
Like Gem and the Holograms, glitter and gold. I'm just saying, if you want to.
Yeah, we do have recital theme picked, but that won't be announced till later. And again, it's gonna be awesome.
Well, yay. Well, thank you so much. It was so nice meeting you.
It was nice to meet you too.
Yeah, I love it. And I could talk like musicals all day with you because I love musicals. So.
We're just general nerds, guys. So
I'm like, so Sondheim, let's talk about Sondheim. How do you like Into the Woods? What I mean? Like I can totally talk to you about all that. So I can't talk to them about that. They don't understand. They're like, who's Sondheim? What are you talking about? Is that a new shoe or something?
Have you watched Smigadoon yet?
No,
I haven't.
won't watch it.
Oh, you have to watch me.
You haven't watched Smigadoon yet either? Oh my god.
I haven't. Man, I'm really behind, I'm really behind on stuff Disney Plus. But yeah, very soon I'm going to be catching up on it.
Yeah, Schmigadoon's on Apple TV Plus. It's really good though because it's like they're both parodying musicals, but at the
The
same time,
first season is like Brigadoon, and then the second season is based on Chicago.
they're hybrids. Yeah, so they're hybrids because like the first season, there are elements of Brigadoon and there's elements of Oklahoma in it.
And State Fair also.
Right.
Yeah,
So like I said,
It's fun.
I will
Yeah.
say, like I mentioned, I'm a fan of Andrew Lloyd Webber, a lot of his classic shows, but I also like, I mean, with me teaching musical theater, Bob Fosse is one of my favorite choreographers. You know, Cabaret, Chicago, Sweet Charity. Those are a few of my other favorite shows.
Yeah.
Sweet Charity has some really good dance
It's
and
really,
music
really
in it.
good.
Yeah. It's really intensive. Like to make it look so effortless, it's really intensive. So
Yeah.
So bravo. I'm proud of you because I don't think I could do that.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Ayden. This has been
Thank
such a good
you.
conversation.
absolutely.
Yeah.
One more time before we let you go, man. I'm just gonna have everybody do their pluggables right now. So with that being said, Ayden, give everybody your pluggables again, man. Anything you have coming up, your social media one more time.
Absolutely.
Where you're at.
Absolutely. Yeah. Again, my Instagram is at Mr. Ayden Carrol. So it's mr.aydencarroll. And then my Facebook, YouTube channel, both of those are my full name, Ayden Jenner Carrol.
Awesome. Jen, give us your pluggables.
Hi, I'm Jen, aka Frey. I identify as an Amazon or a dragon.
Or
My pronouns are Ra and and I am on distance nerding probably way too much. And
you're a co-host. You're supposed to be on the show.
I have my own channel called Frey Girl. You can get me on Instagram or X on Instagram, X, Blue Sky, TikTok. It's Frey Girl or Frey Comics. My dog Gal also has her stuff on there under Gal the Corgi, and on Facebook it's just Jennifer McManus Stillwell. If you're friends with anybody else on the show, you can find me because we're all friends. But yeah, and I mean we do stuff on my channel. We do stuff Dungeons and Dragons on YouTube. It's called Classified. I'm totally bad at this now. I haven't done it in so long. Usually Shadu does it. But it's called Classified. We take your favorite fandoms and we classify them into Dungeons and Dragons classes. We finished our Journals of the Classes series, so if you do want to watch that, absolutely can. We go over every single class and all the subclasses. So if you don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons and you're curious about it, Journals of the Classes can give you a lot of information. But you can catch me. Usually, you can catch me here. If I'm anywhere, I'm going to be on distance nerding. So
there we go. John Mez, I would say plug, but Chemo, plug some stuff.
What are you going to plug?
He's like, what?
Chemo's like, I've got a dance competition coming up. Is that all you got? John Mez?
You don't want to plug anything? You can follow his mom. So if you want to see any pictures, you can follow at Obi Rocksmar on Instagram, and you'll always see pictures of Chemo and his sisters. I also put it in the chat, but River City Dance on Instagram. Follow them for all the cool stuff that they do, and they're always posting stuff. So it's really cool watching all these kids dance and perform, and it's awesome. And I just started following official park friends on Instagram. Oh my gosh, I just put it in the chat here. San Francisco jersey with Baymax on the back.
Nice.
Oh my
Cool.
god. Thanks, Ayden. I'm gonna
They have so many different designs, whether it's the parks or characters or just whatever theme you want to go with. I mean, I'm gonna say I think my jersey I got was maybe around $100, but it's all custom made. So the jersey colors picked, the embroidery is custom made. It's awesome.
That's amazing. That's so cool because like there are so many times when I'm like, I really want this, but I really wish it was in this color.
Mhm.
So that right there. Yeah.
These are dope.
All right. Well, let me throw the plugs. This is going to be the only non-family friendly plug in the entire thing because of the way the jokes are written.
Earmuffs.
Earmuffs for the kids. Ladies and gentlemen, you can connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's not X. It's always going to be Twitter. It's still going to be Twitter. We're not calling it X. Twitch, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, Discord, MySpace, Vine, GeoCities, Friendster, Second Life, AIM, Farmers Only, Christian Mingle, OnlyFans. It's only pictures of Aaron Watson's feet and mandals, the beard, and Jamez's glasses staring at you on the screen, judging you the way that he's judging you right now.
The way that Kimo's judging me. Look at that. Look at those eyes.
I know. The judges of judges. You know who's even more judgy than Jamez? Look at Kimo's eyes right now. Kimo's judging all of us for being weird.
I'm just loving Kimo's hair. He's just doing amazing things with his hair.
Kimo's hair is even better than Jamez's, and Jamez's hair is amazing. So, I'm
making fun of me. I did his hair earlier, so I'm a stylist.
I'm truly. This is not a joke. I get it. I'm sarcastic, and everything that comes out of my mouth is sarcastic. Your hair is amazing, and I wish I could do my hair the way you do your hair, and you don't do much to it. Jealous.
Okay, that's a lot of love. Let's keep going.
I know. Of course, if you'd like us to break up with your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other. Sorry,
Schoolyard bully.
Excuse me. Schoolyard bully, pet, annoying neighbor, or just tell us how much you enjoy us, hate us, or wish the internet would consume us completely and spit us out at the feet of Mickey Mouse himself. Oh boy. Oh, you're terrible.
I want all these jerseys now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But you can find
what
us.
have you done?
Did we say dist?
I didn't start yet. Yeah, you can send us an email at dist. All right, go ahead, James.
Sorry, I'm still looking at the jerseys. I'm not even paying attention right now to whatever you're saying. Dude, a Baymax San Francisco jersey? My birthday was last month, but
and they come in all sizes.
You know, the Seeing Red. I loved Seeing Red, and I kind of feel like Seeing Red to me is like the unofficial Baymax sequel.
Huh? And all of it is money to us. More money for the corporation. Huh.
Mouse got to eat.
Mice got to eat. Gotta eat. It's nerding at AOL.com. And we will read your email. We will read your email on the screen. Oh, look at Jamez's face right there.
Hey.
Chemo.
Look at that guy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us. It is now time for the dance party.
Perfect. We have a choreographer.
I know. Ayden was not warned about the dance party. He doesn't know what the dance party is.
Yeah. We never warn because we don't know if people are staying and we don't want them to get scared.
The dance party is literally just grab something from around you and make it dance on screen when the theme music starts. So that's basically it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us. We will see everybody next week on Monday, where I play Mad Max all over again. So let's get this going.
All Barry's fault. Run, Barry, run! Woo!
Distance nerding.
Oh, little Ewok.
Oh,
Is that Wicket?
It might be.
There we go.
Come on, screen, dude.
Hey, he's doing TikTok dances now.
Right, come on, screen.
Creepy baby. We'll see everybody next week.